What is going on, fishing bros and broettes? I got a little kind of, oh, whoa, Bog. Take it easy. Are you excited for today? You weren't even around when we started fishing this lake. So today we're going back in history. You guys know Bog, but you don't know my other dog, Zeke. I had a red-nosed pit before him, and I absolutely love that dog. It was the coolest dog I have ever had in my life and made me want pits forever. But enough about that. We are fishing a lake that I have a ton of history on. This is Lake Russo, dude. It is a beautiful lake in north central Florida. Hanging out with my boy, Chris Kingery. He's let me crash at the house. He owns 44 Tackle. But what we're gonna do today is we are gonna flip some mats and sort of, homage to Glenn Brown. The last time that we really caught him out here was right before Glenn Brown died. Absolute stick, dude. One of the best with a big stick, flipping with a big weight in his hand that has ever lived and will ever live. But we were out here, we absolutely caught him. Chris told me the lake was kind of setting up in some of the same ways. So we're gonna explore Lake Russo. I'm gonna show you some of the keys and tricks that I use with a big weight during the pre-spawn and sort of that staging period in Florida, because guess what? I know how to flip mats pretty damn good. So we're gonna play around with that, do a little homage to Glenn Brown, and see if we can't get Bog into a little history and catch a big fish and let him lick it. What do you say? Hit that like and subscribe button. Let's go. Bog versus this guy. Who would win? Come on, we gotta go fishing, man. I gotta get fishing rods out. What you doing, bro? Come on, let's go. Come on. Good job! Oh, this is a game now. Are you gonna do it again? It's a little longer jump this time. Hey, you coming or not? That's a big one. Oh, okay. Come on. How about them apples, boys? How about them apples? It's a 6-pounder, dude. Bog, you excited, homie? I am too. Look out, you can't bite that fish. I gotta tell you how this first fish went down. It's like a 6-pounder. We're gonna let it go in a second, but we're out on Lake Russo, hanging out with my buddy Chris at 44 Tackle. He's gonna come out and go fishing with us in a couple days. But I'm running around. You guys know I love to flip mats. It's a great time of year. The pre-spawn, especially in north central Florida, that mat bite is usually amazing. And I got a lot of history on this lake. So Glenn Brown, actually, we fished against him in a YouTuber versus pro kind of session, and he actually absolutely schooled us. But came out and I'm like, dude, what would Glenn flip, So I'm like running around all in the trees, throwing a jerk bait and stuff, and literally haven't flipped yet. I see this mat right here, and it's a perfect example of what would Glenn flip, dude. There's hydrilla, there's like pennywort, it's up against a cane line. So I bet you, let's see, I pitched twice to this mat, and I pitched a little further back in and caught a 6-pounder, dude. BB cricket, dude, you can't go wrong with a BB cricket. The water temps are like 65 to 68 or so. That BB cricket is hands down the best punching bait for this kind of weather. But let's get her out, dude. Bog, you are fired up. Look how, bro, look how swamp this bass is. Hey, stop. That is a swamp bass. What do you say? You love the big green bass, don't you? Get her back. Dude, that is a beautiful fish. What would Glenn Brown do? He'd flip in there again. You wanted it, dude. bit it like 3 times. That happens, you know. We're post cold front. I mean, a very big one, but we're post cold front, and sometimes they get a little nippy, dude. And that's why I love that BB cricket, because it's a little more compact, and they might miss it, but they will come back and get it. There's no doubt. But I'm just rigging it on a straight shank hook that's snelled. This is a Hack Attack hook. A lot of guys hate this hook. I love this hook. I've used it for years. But you just Texas rig it like that. Super simple. Push your bobber stoppers down. Compact presentation. Stay on there. He went down and got it, dude. Look out, Bug. That's a giant. Dude, he went down to the bottom and freaking got the bait. Come here. Come here. That's 700. Dude, I got thumped, and he went down to the bottom and freaking grabbed the bait, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, they want it. When they want it, they want it, boy. I can't believe I caught that fish. The phrase I'd rather be lucky. I can't even talk, dude. The phrase I'd rather be lucky than good comes to mind. So we're going down. There's a very sort of skimpy line of sort of scattered hydrilla right here. You can kind of see it underwater right there. I pitched and got absolutely thunked on the drop, dude. Like, just railed, like absolutely railed. And I'm like, there is no way. I dropped my power poles, which made a little bit of noise. I'm like, there is no way that fish is gonna bite again. So I take my 1.5, I pitch it right into the middle of there, let it drop to the bottom, pump it 3 times, and I let it go to the bottom and just set it on the bottom for a second, and I feel this, and I'm like, no way. And this is what happened. A 7-pound greenback monster, dude. I can't believe it was probably the ugliest hook set I've ever made. I don't care, because I caught that fish. The key that I'm finding, I'm gonna get this fish released in a second. Bog, chill, dude. Bog is so fired up, dude. What I'm finding is there's very limited deeper grass. The water temp's like 66, 65. It's a little bit cooler, you know. And I've been flipping like this stuff along the edge, but it's like 1.5 feet of water. And these fish in North Central Florida like to be a little bit deeper. They also prefer hydrilla for the most part, overall, like throughout the year. And so I haven't found, there's a bunch of grass like underwater, but I've really been looking for some stuff that I can flip. And there ain't much. I might need to go look around some more, but there's a nice little strandy patch right here. Ironically, a little story time with balls. Back in the day, so a lot of you guys don't know, I've been shooting these videos since like 2009, I think, 2008. I used to fish Russo a lot, and I was in my John boat. I had this modified 16.5-foot 1977 John boat, and this exact spot, I lost one of the biggest fish I've ever had on my life. On a red-eye shad, I was ripping it on braid. I had it set up for an extreme tournament that I was fishing, dude, and I could do nothing with this fish. I hooked it, and it went that away, dude. So a little bit of redemption here, but let's get this thing released. What do you say we get her back down in the grass that she came from? Thank you for biting twice. Thank you. There you go. A lot of you guys ask me like what your main flipping bait is, and there's all different kinds of flipping and pitching. You know, there's pitching pads, there's pitching cane, there's pitching docks, there's so many different variations. In today's video, we're focusing on flipping matted vegetation. So that could be stuff that's growing off the bottom, that could be stuff floating around like hyacinth, it could be even junk, you know, like strands of hydrilla. Some of the stuff we actually targeted is like strands of hydrilla that have blown into a corner. But during this pre-spawn time of year, especially when you get water temps kind of in the mid to low 60s, even and especially even when you get into the mid to upper 50s in Florida, my one go-to bait, and I've told you guys about it a million times, but for some reason I guess people just don't get the message, is this guy. It's a Gambler BB Cricket. It is the most do-nothing, simple, little compact crawl bait. there is. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because they're eating like grass shrimp or if they just want a smaller presentation because the water temps are lower, it gets through anything. Because this here, I got one rigged up right here, I'll show you, but this with a 1.5 is super duper streamlined. You see how kind of like compact, how it slides through just about anything. With a 1.5, I can get through stuff that guys are using like a creature or a beaver bait, they'll be using a 1.5, can't get through. So I get more drops through the extremely thick stuff, and that's usually when you're doing this, when you know the temperatures are down, maybe a front has gone through. But for some reason, that on a 4/0 hook has caught me more big bass in Florida during this pre-spawn time of year than pretty much any other plastic. I will warn you though, the hook pops out pretty easy on this, so definitely have a couple bags. It's a very thin presentation, and I think that's why you don't miss fish on it. It's super skinny, just like, you know, like a ribbon tail worm, so the hook does pop out super easy. And when you have it on that keeper on the snell, it tears up pretty quick, especially going through some of this heavy cover. But it's a simple setup. I run 2 bobber stoppers. That's a 1.5 Hogtech tungsten. I got a Hack Attack 4/0 hook, and then this color is actually back at you. Usually on these tannic bodies of water, I like something darker, but maybe with a little bit of blue or purple. So this kind of has that nice little blue black swirl to it. It just seems like a lot of the brim and a lot of the little bait fish are darker, or under these mats they're looking for more of a silhouette than an actual like natural match to what the bait or the forage looks like. It seems like they see that shadow and they're actually chasing down and actually striking at that shadow versus actually looking and be like, does that look exactly like a glass minnow? You know, they're not going through all that process because it's falling through there pretty darn quick. And that's the other trick. During these cold water periods, there's really 2 ways to catch them: super slow or super fast. And really you can do both when you're punching like this, because I can pitch this thing into a mat, it's gonna fall like a bullet right on through the mat, and that's usually when you get most of your bites, is on that initial fall. However, I can go back and I can lift that thing off the bottom and kind of yo-yo it and slowly move it up and down, or just dangle it right under the roof of the mat and just let those fish kind of ease on up to it and suck it down. Because a lot of times there isn't as much grass this time of year during the pre-spawn, so you're fishing more isolated targets. You're looking for maybe that floating mat blown up against the dock, or that one chunk of hydrilla out in a flat. So you can kind of be meticulous and pick things apart, and especially with lower water temps, that's a good thing. These fish like to be presented slowly and quietly. Stay off the trolling motor, use your power poles if you got them, just kind of creep up and dangle that thing in. If you don't get an initial bite on the drop, you know, move it up and down a little bit. Try dangling it just under the roof of the mat. Let them come to the bait. It's such a fun presentation, and it's a fun way to catch them. They whack it. And when you hook them under those mats, as you're in all that thick cover, dude, you're dragging them out. It's just a really, really fun way to catch them. And you catch some bigs, dude. Some absolute studs. That was ugly, but she doinked it, just settling it up on the top. We talked about the different retrieves. Nice little pound and a half there. But sometimes they just want it just kind of sitting right below the top of the mat. Super subtle. Yep. That's all she wrote, gentlemen. I did not think the video would end like this. I totally snapped my, look at this thing. It's all kind of broke. I don't even want to move it around. Dude, I snapped the shaft. There's a bunch of, oh God, that's not good. There's a bunch of stumps on this leg, and I didn't even see it. We're in this grass right here, and it hit a stump, and usually it'll just kind of deflect. That joker just went whoosh and broke. But this is the way we're gonna have to end the video. The problem is the big ones are biting, dude. We're flipping these mats, we're using the BB cricket, downsizing, fishing super slow, fishing super isolated stuff, and I really feel like we could catch a few more big ones. But I'm just gonna have to hold my breath and come back, right? But hit that like and subscribe button. I'm gonna take this motor and try to get the shaft fixed so I can still go fishing. I know Bog's gonna be disappointed, but hit that like and subscribe button. We're gonna wrap this video up kind of on a sad note, but think of big bass, and that's what this video had. So tight lines, guys. We'll see you later.